In today's lesson, we'll be learning how to convert standard form to factored form. Down below, you'll see an equation of a quadratic relation in standard form. If you remember, the last number in standard form tells you the y-intercept. So our y-intercept would be positive 4. And the coefficient of x squared, which is a positive 1, tells us if it's opening upwards or downwards. And since this is positive 1, it is actually opening upwards. To convert this from standard form to factored form, we want to first identify the a, b, and c values. The a value is the coefficient of x squared, which is positive 1. This isn't usually written in, but it is there. The b value is the coefficient of the x term, and this is positive 4. And the c value is the constant, which is positive 4. We're going to take our b value, which we discovered to be 4, and we're going to place it right over here. Next, we're going to take our a value and our c value, and we're going to place them right over here. And this is a times c. So this would be positive 1 times positive 4. Positive 1 times positive 4 gives you 4. We want to brainstorm two numbers that add up to b, which is 4, and we want to brainstorm the same two numbers that multiply to the product of a and c, which is 4. So 2 plus 2 gives me 4, and those same two numbers would multiply to give me 4. Therefore, I'm going to take these numbers, so the numbers in the circle, I'm going to place it right over here, and this is a positive 2, and I'm going to take the two numbers in the squares, and I'm going to place it over here, and this is also positive 2. Therefore, the quadratic relation in factored form is y equals x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 2. We can further simplify this, but I'm just going to leave it like so. And if you recall, in factored form, you can determine the x-intercepts. So the x-intercept here would be negative 2, and the other x-intercept would be negative 2 as well. In our second example, once again, we're going to convert standard form to factored form. But let's start by analyzing our quadratic relation in standard form. If you recall, the last number in standard form tells you the y-intercept. So the y-intercept is positive 8. And the coefficient of x squared, which is a positive 1, tells you if it's opening upwards or downwards. Since this is positive, it is going to be opening upwards. Next, we want to identify our a, b, and c values. Our a value is positive 1, since that is the coefficient of x squared. Our b value is the coefficient of x, and that happens to be positive 6. And our c value is the constant of positive 8. I'm going to take our b value over here, and I'm going to place it right over here. So our b value is positive 6. And next, I'm going to take my a and c values, and I'm going to place them over here. And this is a times c, which is 1 times 8. 1 times 8 gives us 8. Next, I want to find two numbers that add up to 6, and I want to find the same two numbers that multiply to give me 8. If you brainstorm using your multiplication tables, you should figure out that this is positive 2 and positive 4, because 2 plus 4 gives you 6, and 2 times 4 gives you 8. I'm going to take the number I have in the circle, I'm going to place it down here. This is a positive 2. And I'm going to take the number in the squares, and I'm going to place it down here. This is positive 4. Therefore, my quadratic relation in factored form is y equals x plus 2 multiplied by x plus 4. And if you remember, factored form can tell us the x-intercepts of our quadratic relation. So the x-intercept here would be negative 2, and the x-intercept here would be negative 4. In our third example, once again, we want to convert standard form to factored form. But let's first start by analyzing our quadratic relation in standard form. If you remember, the last number in standard form tells us the y-intercept, so the y-intercept is positive 4, and the coefficient of x squared which is positive 1, tells us if it's opening upwards or downwards. Since this is positive, it is opening upwards. Next, we want to identify our a, b, and c values. Our a value is the coefficient of x squared, which is positive 1. Our b value is positive 5 because this is the coefficient of x. And our c value is the constant, and this is positive 4. So I'm going to take this b value of 5, place it over here, and I'm going to take my a and c value, and I'm going to place it over here, and this is a times c. So 1 times 4, 1 times 4 is 4. Next, I want to find two numbers that add up to 5, and these same two numbers must multiply to 4. So if you use your times table, you should come up with the numbers 1 and 4, because 1 plus 4 gives you 5, and 1 times 4 gives you 4. So I'm going to place my number in the circle right over here, and since it's positive, let's add a positive sign, and I'm going to place my number in the square right over here, and that is positive 4. So when I convert this to factored form, this is actually y equals x plus 1 multiplied by x plus 4. And if you remember, factored form tells us the x-intercepts of a quadratic relation. So our x-intercept here is going to be negative 1, and our x-intercept here is going to be negative 4.